So just to catch up, if you don't know, Zelensky had a meeting in the White House, and it was in front of all of these cameras, and it devolved into like a shouting match between Vance, Trump, and Zelensky that I think is so disappointing. And it's in front of all these cameras, but it did give me this incredible meme. This is truly one of the funniest memes I've seen. And it was how every game of Risk ends.
Influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't have. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Influence.
You're right now not in a.
That's incredible. I actually got to retweet that. I think that's incredible. Okay, let's just watch it.
See the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I...
Yeah, dude. Yes, of course he has tremendous hatred for Putin. So many Ukrainians are dead. Cities are shelled, bombed out. It's been invaded. That's fucking crazy. It's like, of course. It's like, what? I can even understand you, like, at least acknowledging that as like a difficulty in negotiations. But you saying with that tone of voice, like, I don't get it. He's got all his hatred for Putin. It's like, yeah, dude, understand why. It's real.
I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe.
Okay.
I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014.
He's correcting him. I think he knows. I think he fucking knows. Trump, I'm pretty fucking sure he knows the year that Russia invaded Crimea.
In
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation.
I want to set the stage too. This wasn't under Trump. So, he can say that he didn't make this deal, but it's worth saying that America as a country made a security guarantee to Ukraine in exchange for them giving up their nuclear weapons. That was the idea. Ukraine has no nukes, but we'll keep you safe so you won't need them. 1994. Okay, 1994. And that's a promise from a country in order to reduce the amount of nuclear weapons in the world, reduce the chance of a nuclear war, okay? If you can't fulfill that promise, then everybody just wants nukes because they know they can't trust you. They can't trust... You know what I'm saying? You mean 1995. I love the idea of just constantly correcting someone's date to be 1 year later to like get the edge. I'm sorry, it's 1985. So you understand with that context how it can be really frustrating for Ukraine, who, if they had nukes, would have been able to credibly deny an invasion, but now don't, and now don't seem to have a security guarantee.
And we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but
I do say, I'm sorry, I've watched this already, but I just want to point out, I saw this on a comment, and I think it is worth saying. The language barrier really makes it tough here. Because I want to be fully fair here. There was 40 minutes of conversation before this, I believe, that are relatively fine. But the language barrier here makes it tough, and it makes it frustrating because they can't, an interpreter would have helped a lot. Or it would have slowed things down too, because then it starts going off the fucking rails. I don't know, it can jam up you being able to express exactly what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's like a sensory overload a bit.
after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around.
So this is the part I really hated. I really hated JD Vance here, and I know there's different takes on it. I actually think Vance is so much worse than Trump in this whole dialogue because he's the one that makes it too confrontational. And I think his question, Zelensky's question, is a fair one, which is basically that we have signed deals with Russia in the past that they have ignored. We've signed deals and been told that they're good deals, and then Russia ignores them. They ignore the ceasefire. They ignore the prisoner transfer. So what is different this time that we're going to get done? What guarantees are you going to offer? It's an important question. And I think, I don't know, JD Vance lost his cool. He's like, I don't want to look bad in front of the cameras. And so it's like he puts on this whole speech. This is a fair question.
With respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
I think right there, I could be being too generous here, but it feels like a miscommunication. I feel like Trump is, again, misinterpreting what he's saying and getting more angry about it than he should be. What Zelensky's trying to say is that, America, you're rich, you're prosperous, you have a big ocean between you and Russia. So it doesn't affect you, you can ignore it. But if you ignore it long enough, it will affect you. That's what he's trying to say. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Trump latched onto the word what you're going to feel. I don't know. Maybe he understood it and is just mad about that concept, but that's not a crazy thing for Zelensky to say.
We're going to feel very good and very.
But also, I do want to say this. It's so frustrating. I guess as the public, it's cool we get to see this, but honestly, I wish this was private. It's crazy this is in public. Putting this in front of cameras and litigating this in front of, I hate this. This should totally be a private conversation. All three of the people in this room are aware of that they're being seen by the media. It's gonna get covered, so they have to change the way they talk to it's like a fucking Bravo TV show. I don't like it. Hash everything out off screen and then come on screen and do a handshake and
you will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war,
you're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Bro, let him speak.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting?
Dude, I wish Vance would shut up, dude. I wish Vance would fucking shut up, dude. I swear to God. Please shut up. It's actually, between Zelensky and Trump, at least some dialogue. Because here's the thing, okay? I don't like Trump's style, and I don't agree with his fucking actions here, but he's correct that Ukraine has a bad set of hands, bad cards. They're in a bad spot, bad negotiating position. If you don't see them as an ally, but as someone you're going to negotiate with for the maximum value personally, which is his perspective, he's going from like this 100% USA position. At least I can see where that's coming from. But what Vance is doing is just deliberately fucking riling up this room. You kind of even see it on Trump's face that Vance is talking too much. The two presidents are speaking. Vice President, sit the fuck down. He's rage baiting. He's like clip farming. Yeah, I don't like it at all. And again, you know, like I mentioned, one of the reasons that Ukraine has bad cards is because they de-nuked. They got rid of their nuclear weapons because they had an explicit security guarantee. So, that's why they have bad cards. Of course, they're a smaller country than Russia. Of course, in a long, drawn-out, attrition-filled war, they're going to have problems recruiting soldiers, and they're going to eventually lose. But there was a spoken agreement that there would be defense guarantees from Europe and America to keep them safe that are now being challenged because they're too expensive, I guess. I have a tough time with people that can't at least see Zelensky's point of view on this. From the point of view of his people and his country, which of course, yes, is a smaller country than Russia. It's not a stronger military than Russia, but they've done a pretty damn good job fighting. Anyway, continue this thing. So what does Zelensky say?
Thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this
should have
you said thank you once this
a
entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting have you said thank
today.
you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please. You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks.
Dude, I think it's fucked up. I think it's fucked up, dude. Even if privately you're trying to get a better deal, it's like two parents that are divorcing. They put on a good face in front of the kids. You are allies. You're on the same side of a war ostensibly. So like going out in front of the cameras and being like you're losing it's crazy. I think it's crazy.
He gave you through this stupid president $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military.
Dude, they're not letting him speak, and they're just fucking berating him in front of the cameras. And he's still being, I think, relatively polite for a fucking leader of a country that's getting attacked. People are dying. I just can't watch this and really think it's being handled with any dignity or grace by the president. I don't know. I understand that Trump's POV is that he would like to end this war at any cost, get a handshake photo, get a Nobel Peace Prize, and then dump the problem on Europe for the future. I understand that POV. But even if that's your goal, which I don't agree with, but if that's your goal, then this is not helping. This is not only hurting this goal, but it's hurting every other ally under the American security blanket. People like Taiwan see this and it's like over. What's the point of even trying to resist China Because they know they can't count on. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has knock-on effects. You have to project. You know, it's the two parents thing. You have to project like you're together for the kids, even if you have your own personal motives. This is bad.
This war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of...
Shut up, JD Vance. Please shut up. Please shut up. Please just let Trump talk.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Dude, it's so funny. Vance, can you not? Even Trump is like trying to bring it back. Even Trump's trying to put on a good show for the cameras. Fucking Vance is just, that's so petty, dude.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. You're people in...
Dude, this fucking Jim look to the camera. Please stop asking him to be more thankful. My God.
You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire.
Bullying him. He's bullying him. I will say A+ impression. I couldn't. Is that to Zelensky speaking? Where'd Trump go? Where the fuck did Trump go? How did Zelensky clone himself?
I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about it.
Yeah, but he wants a guarantee. I mean, at least acknowledge his point. How can he trust the guarantee from Putin that he won't just build his army back up and then invade again? It's a good question. It's fair for him to ask it. Like, stop mocking him and berating him for asking this question. It's a fair question.
Oh, ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia...
I want to see the follow-up. She asked the question, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire? Because he answers and he goes like, what if a bomb drops on your head? Who knows? It's a great... If someone has the rest of that clip, it's really good. She asked, like, what happens if Russia breaks the... And he goes, what if a bomb drops on your head? What if who knows?
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with...
No, but again, like, let's think about this. Even if there's such a deep respect that Putin would never invade again under your watch, this is your second term. What is your guarantee, like, you know, in writing from the country of the United States? Usually when a previous president does something, the next president has to honor that because we're one contiguous country with an elected government. You know what I'm saying? So even if that happens, what is your guarantee that when we get another president after you, that Putin won't invade? Because that's the common theory. That's when I read geopolitical experts, their theory is that Putin would like a breather. he would like a ceasefire because his economy is really hurting under this war now. He would like to fucking recoalesce, slow things down, and then after, maybe in 3-4 years, go right back to it. So what is, like, you have to have something you can tell Ukraine that's like, hey, we are ready for that. We have a plan. We'll give you some sort of guarantee. But I think Trump would like to offload that to Europe. Again, in that specific instance, it may be a cost saver for America, but there are other knock-on effects with regards to trust, with regards to, you know, other guarantees you put in place. Again, I would say my reaction to that is poor. He wants to plunder Ukraine? I actually think the minerals deal was more like the fentanyl czar in Canada. It's just, I actually think the minerals deal was a way for Trump to return to supporting Ukraine while having a headline saying he got a good deal. It's not crazy. I think the fact that it's blown up from this conversation is crazy. The fact that, you know, he went into this calling Zelensky a dictator, then said, I forgot that I said that, I didn't say that. You know, all this like public fighting, I think it's a really bad look for America as ally, partner, and trusted guarantor of things it says it'll do. Overall, you know, I'm not in love with how Trump handled this meeting, but I'm really disappointed in Vance, dude. Vance felt way too emotional in that fucking clip. It just felt way too unpresidential. He could have handled that so much better.
With me, he went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh.
Zelensky's faces are like, I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't, like, from his POV, it's deeply sad, right? So I read some, I actually asked. We had the Marketing Monday Discord. I was trying to get other perspectives. And what I'll say is there's a fair, it's not morally fair. I disagree with this hard, but I'm just gonna say the fair perspective, I wanna give both sides here, is that Zelensky should have just shut the fuck up and nodded along and just got the deal signed. Which is like, because it's so important, because it's so much at stake, he should have swallowed his national pride and just ignored any outright falsehoods, ignored being told he needs to be more thankful. And I think if you watch this clip, it's hard to say that Zelensky really overreacted. He never raised his voice. You know what I'm saying? But the deal would have at least had U.S. somewhat. I don't even know what guarantees. Not even. Actually, literally just a ceasefire, right? It's just a ceasefire with no guarantees, which is the whole point. But I'm just presenting that side. If that is something you want to take, at the very least, Zelensky could have recognized the bigger picture of dealing with Trump. I mean, as other world leaders have learned to just flatter Trump to his face and then get what they want. It's a point of view that I can at least see. But I find Vance's behavior pretty terrible for America's interest. For anything other than playing it up for the cameras. Isn't it the same as making a deal with Russia? Can't trust it. That's the exact point Zelensky's making. That is the exact point that kicks off this whole thing. Is Zelensky's like, hey, I need something that makes me trust this deal because I can't trust Putin. And then he gets berated. And it's like a super fair question from his end. But also, you know, the idea that he has bad cards is true. And that I don't think, well, we'll see what this European defense fund end up being. But realistically, without American support, I don't understand how much longer Ukraine can fight. So it's like a real, I don't know, it's just a tough spot. My dad acted like Trump was the coolest person ever for this. Well, what I think happens, though, is people don't even watch the fucking thing, dude. I legitimately think everyone makes up their mind on this before they've even watched the clip. They see a fucking headline, or they see a fucking tweet about it, or no one's even watched it. But I think when you watch it, it's hard to be like, yeah, I think Vance acted in good faith. That's the takeaway on that. The Ukrainian ambassador had her head in her hands. Photo says a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think that meeting would have been better without Vance and without the cameras. I think that actually could have been somewhat productive. I do think Trump wants peace in Ukraine. But he seems really unwilling to address that Putin cannot be trusted on previous agreements. I really do think he wants it. I think he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he wants this war to be over. I think he wants to be done with it. But I don't think he is willing to address the real reason that is stopping the peace, which is Vladimir Putin, to be honest. The whole thing started from Vladimir Putin. The whole thing's continuing because of Vladimir Putin. It could stop at any time because of Vladimir Putin.